Hey guys, Casey Redbeard here. I am freaking pissed. Boy, am I fired up for this freaking rant. I had this girl on Instagram, beautiful girl. She had like a dancer, yoga instructor body, not like a fat ass, but like a perfect bubble butt. Beautiful. I live in a city that's extremely degenerate, but she's from a foreign country. I'm a foreigner. We always talk about how the people in this particular country and city that I won't even mention right now are just super degenerate, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of noticed little by little, she's posting more and more scandalous content. I'm like, okay, whatever. She's comfortable with her body. She likes to show off a bit, whatever. Normal. And then what do I see today? What link appears in her bio? What do you think? Was it a link to her new singing career? Was it a link to a new fashion brand that she launched? Or option C, was it a link to a freaking goddamn OnlyFans page? Unless you're very low IQ, you already know the answer. OnlyFans is ruining society systematically. It's ruining men, it's ruining women, it's ruining the family structure. I have a bunch of notes here. I'm going to go through it. It might be a little all over the place, but let's just go. One of the main problems I see, I don't know if this is like the number one problem, but one of the main problems I see with this whole thing is that it transforms men from flesh and blood human beings with brains and neurotransmitters in their brains and emotions into customers, into objects, ATMs to be scammed. Now you might say, in what sense are they scammed? They're scammed in a lot of ways. They're scammed out of having an option of a good woman being available to them, because rather than be a good woman, a girl can now just prostitute herself online and become a millionaire, or not even a millionaire, 10,000 a month, 15, 20,000 a month with ease. And that just takes yet another option, yet another potentially good woman off the market. And there's just another prostitute. It is easier than ever to become a prostitute. I heard a stat, something like this. I don't like to, say stats and numbers unless I'm absolutely sure about them, but I don't see how this could not be true. Something in the realm of 40 to 50% of men age 18 to 35 have not had sex in the last year. Let that sink in for a second. First of all, there's like 0% of guys 18 to 35, and this is in the United States, by the way. There's pretty much 0% of United States men 18 to 35 that on their own, by their own will, would choose not to have sex in the last year. It's pretty much all of them are involuntarily doing this. And for the 50% that have had sex, almost all of them are having sex with women that are, let's be realistic, bottom of the barrel. Like probably only a half of 1% of men has had sex with a what I would call a good girl in the last year, meaning, she's pretty, she's smart, she has good values, she's not prostituting herself on OnlyFans. So it's scamming men out of the option of even having a woman to date, a good girl, like a good option on the market for him to date. And it's also scamming men in the sense that when they're paying to chat, so like the $5 a month, the $12 a month subscription, that doesn't make a whole bunch of money. You need just insane volume. I mean, it does make some money. For the really big creators, sure, the subscriber value, matters. Where the real money comes in is out of the chatting, guys that pay to chat with the girls, okay? And you know what? For anyone with a brain who probably already figured this out, they're not even chatting with the girl. They're chatting to men most of the time. They're chatting to gay guys, other girls, sometimes I guess heterosexual men, but they're not chatting to the girl. So they're paying for this chat. They think that, your typical OnlyFans subscriber, right, is probably, well, not probably, I know this because before I did this video, I called my friend who used to run an OnlyFans agency and I said, hey, I'm doing this video. Do you have anything to say on it? Called a couple people actually. Your typical OnlyFans subscriber is a fat white guy in Tennessee who's married. His wife won't have sex with him anymore. His wife doesn't respect him. His kids don't respect him. and he uses her, equally, to kind of like, get his rocks off sexually as he is for like a therapy session. He's using it more as a therapy session overall. Oh, she doesn't look at me the same. She's gained so much weight and she doesn't respect me and all she does is yell at me and all she does is nag me, blah, 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 blah. And it normalizes men as, okay, cool. It's okay to just scam these people, these fucking schlubs, these fucking schmucks. Let's just scam them all. Scam them all, bro. Why not? Men aren't real human beings. Men don't deserve love and connection and whatever. They're just ATMs to be used for financial gain. It destroys the family structure because no man wants to wife up a woman who is online prostituting herself. Can you imagine the trauma of being a little boy, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and your friends at school are passing around your mom's OnlyFans account saying, oh yeah, I watched your mom, give a blowjob to, some guy on the internet last night. Can you imagine the effect that would have on you mentally? Knowing that your mom is prostituting herself online, selling feet pictures to guys. Can you imagine what that would do to you? Cyberbullying, blah, blah. It would never leave you alone. So that's a huge one, is the scamming aspect. I'm going to go through my notes here. It inflates women's egos even more than they're already inflated by just normal social media and whatever, just modern times and, the amount of access that they have to men. They just have, these swarms of simps on the internet just, telling them that they're beautiful. And now like putting their money where their mouth is, not just telling them they're beautiful, but like literally giving them money. So their egos are even more out of control and it increases simping. There's not a lot that I would judge a guy on. Like, even though I hate OnlyFans, I find it absolutely disgusting. I'm friends with guys who do OnlyFans actually not at the current moment, but I have been friends with guys who do OnlyFans agencies or, webcam modeling agencies, things like that. And, guys I look up to like, Andrew and Tristan Tate, acquaintances of mine, I've met these guys. I would never judge, Andrew and Tristan for, their past of, webcam modeling stuff or running OnlyFans agencies, but it wouldn't be my particular, favorite thing to like, hang out with a guy who does, OnlyFans agency, but whatever. But one thing I will absolutely not tolerate, like we cannot be friends. I don't want to even be in the same room as you. It's one of the most repulsive things is simping. So first let's define simping. What is a simp? What does it mean to simp? Simping is when you give a lot of attention, time, compliments, money, etc. to women, and it is not reciprocated. So if I'm going out with some hot chick, we're having sex, I am leaving her comments on her Instagram, I'm sending flowers to her house, I'm getting her a gift here and there, and like I said, we're dating, having sex, that is not simping because that attention is reciprocated 2 ways. However, if I am giving her all these, attention and, sending her money and whatever, and that attention is not reciprocated, she doesn't know I exist, I'm just another subscriber of hers, that is simping, and that is absolutely the most repulsive action a man can take to me. The last thing that we need is more simping. The last thing we need is to make this fucked up, insanely unfair and unbalanced dating market even more unbalanced and make women even more hoary and prostitute and give them even another avenue. Listen, it must have been a big decision in a woman's life in all times, basically up until the last like 5 to 10 years, if she's going to be a prostitute or not. I have to walk the cold, dangerous streets at night, get into weird, strange cars with men I don't know, have them touching my body, feel their breath, their boozy, alcohol-y breath on me as they're on top of me, touching my body, literally going up inside of me. But now simps will just give them money. Going back to the scamming aspect of scamming men, it gets a lot worse than just, oh, you think you're talking to the girl, but you're not really talking to the girl. when I called my buddies, my OnlyFans creator buddies, they don't do it anymore, by the way. But when I called them and talked to them, they said the guys that make the most money on OnlyFans, keyword the guys, because it's the guys who run the agency. It's always the guys who are the masterminds, behind all this stuff. Behind all the top female creators, a man is managing them. Of course, big surprise, right? The guys who make the most money off their models on OnlyFans are the ones who are the best scammers. They will tell these fucking worms, spineless jellyfish of men, these simps, they will tell their subscribers, my brother got into a car accident and we need money for the hospital. If I don't, get him to a better hospital, my brother's gonna die. Oh, okay. Cute coconut babe 33. I'll send you $10,000. Are you fucking kidding me? What guys are falling for this? But they are falling for this. So again, it just increases degeneracy. It just takes a society that already has a undeserved, extremely low opinion of men in general and makes an even lower opinion of men and increases the scamming, the degeneracy, the bad treatment, the dehumanization of men into money objects, success objects. Just how much can you extract out of the guy? How much can you extract out of the guy? And it's a global problem. It's not just in America. It's probably the worst in Miami. There's a few cities around the world. I don't want to mention them because I don't want to start another shitstorm, but there's a few cities and a few countries. If you watch my channel, you probably know what I'm referring to. You can go back and watch other videos, but I won't say them here, where it's, really bad. But in Miami, check this stat out, okay? It's basically a 1.1%. The stat that I read is there's 1,110 OnlyFans subscribers, creators per 100,000 residents in Miami. So if you divide that out, that's 1.1%. So 1.1% of the entire population of Miami are OnlyFans creators. Now that's fucking already just mind-blowingly, insanely high. But let's extrapolate that more. 50% of the goddamn population of Miami is men. So it's really not 1.1. If we're talking about women, it's now not 1.1, it's 2.2, because we're only talking about women here, because men aren't OnlyFans creators. No one, there's probably like, if you looked at a pie chart of OnlyFans creators, the male population on the chart would look like the second hand on a clock. It would be like a sliver on the pie chart. They're all women, right? So now we just double that from 1.1 to 2. Let's just call it to 2.2. Let's just call it 2%. So now we're up to 2%. But that's the entire population of Miami. There are babies. There are elderly people. There are burn victims, people with cancer, people that are just ugly as fuck and overweight. Those people aren't even eligible. Of the hot 18 to 30 female population of Miami, if we were to extrapolate this data, someone who's good at data and statistics can maybe help me with this, it's probably 20%. And I know that that's probably a roundabout right figure because I lived in Miami for 2 years. I was Fresh Prince CEO from the Fresh and Fit podcast. I was his roommate for 2 years. I would go to the Fresh and Fit studio and watch these guys interview women for 2 years. Now you're going to say, oh, well, that's just the girls that go on the show. They're just talking to the low trash girls. Yeah, you're kind of right. What girl would want to, stay up till 3 a.m. on a Tuesday doing some random podcast if she wasn't promoting her OnlyFans? I get it. It tends to attract more of that. Sure, the show definitely tends to attract, by and large, a more low quality representation of the women in Miami. I get that. But bro, Walter and I would go out. We would be on, dating apps, Instagram, DMing girls, running ads on Instagram, just, meeting girls every which way at restaurants, cold approaching girls, meeting girls on Lincoln Road, etc. It's very, very fucking high. And then, like I said, it's a global problem, right? You have girls that in foreign countries where, men need to escape. Men are forced. Men are fucking like refugees leaving United States because the dating situation and women are so goddamn terrible. They're going to foreign countries, finding really, really good valued women, easy dating markets that are now being poisoned by this OnlyFans thing because it's global. You don't have to be in the same room. You don't have to be in Miami to have Miami subscribers. Matter of fact, probably 40% of the population of Miami speak Spanish anyway. So girls in these other countries, other cities around the world can subscribe. And now men who left America to get away of these horrible gold diggery standards in the roof, standards, through the roof, scammy, degenerate, showing their whole bodies on Instagram women. We left America to get away from that. Now it's infecting other cities because it's giving women this opportunity. It's also ruining women as well. No high value man is going to want to date a girl that does OnlyFans. Sorry, you're a simp. You're a loser. If you, I can't even believe that's an option. I can't even believe a man would do that, whether she's currently on it or in her past. You're gonna have a generation of women. If cats were like a stock, if I could buy stock in cats, I'd double down. Fuck any crypto. Oh, this crypto is gonna go up. I would put all my money into cats because you're gonna have a generation of lonely women that no high value man wants to be with. That their standards are like NBA players and whatever, and they won't settle for anything less. They're used to the type of guy they would get when they were 25 and gorgeous. Now they're 35. Their OnlyFans career is over. They're addicted to opiates. They've been drinking and staying up late, and their skin looks like shit. They're not beautiful anymore. They didn't take care of themselves, and still a lot of guys want them because men are in a pretty dire situation. Men are pretty desperate these days, but the women are only gonna want those top like level guys, those celebrities, those athletes, those 6'4" jacked millionaire charismatic guys with an organic blue check on Instagram, like not the subscriber blue check, but like the one where you're actually a celebrity. And they're not gonna be able to get those guys, and no other guy is gonna be worth it to them. And the few guys that maybe would have wanted that maybe would have been high value month are going to say, nope, you have OnlyFans in your past. You were an online prostitute. You were a whore. And I don't want you. In Japan, they have, I don't know the word in Japanese, but it's a hilarious English translation. It's called like Herbivore Man or Plant Man, Vegan Man. I don't know how you would translate it. I love it. Herbivore Man. What an Herbivore Man is, and I may be getting this wrong, so sue me, but from my understanding, an Herbivore Man in Japan is basically a man who has given up on dating as a whole and to some degree socializing as a whole. They're completely recluses. They live in their parents' homes. They get online, they have digital girlfriends, maybe some AI, avatar-y girlfriend thing. And they just opt for that over real relationships with real women, herbivore men. OnlyFans is going to create, and it already has created more of an environment for these herbivore men. Pornography is another, epidemic, is another problem. It's just another way for people to capitalize and monetize the loneliness of men. Another way for men to be forced into a reclusive existence, a painful, lonely existence, no human to human contact, no touching the soft skin of a woman that feels, markedly different than a man's. It's soft. You release oxytocin and serotonin as you touch her skin and you smell her pheromones. Nope. It's all digital now, bro. It's all online. It's all on the internet. Forget about that. Forget about human to human, skin to skin contact. Just another way to scam and monetize the loneliness of men. It is absolutely egregious. That was the word that one of my friends said. I wrote that, and so you can see I'm looking at my notes right now as I go over this, just trying to make sure that I, cover everything. It is absolutely egregious, the situation. Like I said, completely destroying society, destroying women, destroying men, obviously. Again, the main thing is this capitalization on the loneliness of men and just another way, how can we monetize a really bad situation? It would be like if there's a crack epidemic in the 80s destroying the black community and, other communities as a whole, not just the black community, but, primarily. And then someone says, okay, how can we make crack even stronger? How can we make crack even more addictive? How can we make crack even more lethal? How can we get even more people to buy it? How can we make even easier access to it? Like, why would you brainstorm that? It's like the most vile thing. You're just capitalizing on people's pain, people's suffering, people's addiction, people's loneliness, people's health problems, mental health, physical health. It's just absolutely disgusting. And that's my rant for today, boys. Yeah, I was very angry. I was very fired up. I hope this came off as very authentic. Now it's time for shameless plug time. I was realizing that in my other videos, I wasn't pitching my services in a correct way. If you watched my videos before, you probably know my main business is men can outsource their online dating life to me. I have cracked the code of online dating. Even though I'm an average looking guy, I date literal, actual, perfect 10s that I meet from the internet. And I'm passionate about, teaching other guys to do it for themselves if they can't afford me, or for, wealthy, affluent men, they can just pay me and outsource the entire process to me. But some people are thinking like, I just get on Tinder and swipe and get a bunch of, Tinder sluts for them, and that's it. No. What the service actually is I'm like a fucking bloodhound. A bloodhound, those dogs that the police hire to look for missing people and shit, that have this amazing sense of smell. Or like the guy from Taken where he's like, I have a specific set of skills and I will find you. That's what I am. If you want to be a big Dan Bilzerian playboy and find a bunch of easy women, if you want us to screen for DTF girls, start kind of talking about BDSM and sexting them before the date so they come, pretty much pre-qualified to be DTF, we can do that. On the contrary, if you want a good girl with private Instagram, low follower count, low body count, good girl, good values, etc. If you want us to I had one guy that he particularly wanted a girl that was, I can't say this on YouTube. She didn't get the thing into her body that became popular in 2020. He's very against that product that was created by drug companies that governments wanted to force you to get, if you know what I'm talking about. He wanted a girl that didn't have one of those. So it was tough, but we found girls like that. We just, kind of casually, bring it up, and any girl that said that she had that, we would just disqualify that. So good girl, we do this all over the world. Sometimes girls want, girls that speak English, that have a visa, that can travel, etc. We can find that. It's, it's a white glove, high, it's for affluent men. It's a concierge, luxury service for the rich who can afford it. It's a bit cheaper in Latin America. It's more expensive than the US because why? It's a more difficult dating market, obviously. We can't get the same results as easily in America. So it's probably about double the price depending on what package you get. If you want it in the US, it's a bit cheaper overseas. But, if you're affluent and you think you want to do this, if you want to have us, the best in the business, just line up dates with you with any type of girl you want, feel free to reach out to us. The website for all my services is redbeardrans.net. And I can also get you amazing photos too. I'll put some photos on the screen of a recent client that I got. As you can see, we got him having fun with friends. I think I have some photos in here. You'll see in a second of him speaking on stage. It's a very high value thing. Solo shots, group shots, etc. In every photo, he just looks like a badass. So if you can't even get matches right now, there's nothing to outsource. We got to do the photos first. I can do that first. Coaching calls, anything you need, throwing parties. I'm qualified to teach a lot of things and help men get the ladies in a lot of different ways. Redbeard Rants is the websites. There's only one. Redbeard Rants is the website. That's all I got to say for today, gentlemen. Peace.